Hey everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Kartik, one of the co-founders of ETHGlobal, and I'm super excited to welcome all of you to Scaling Ethereum. We're getting all of you kind of rolling in. I see already a few hundred people joining us on the live stream, so I'm super glad to be welcoming all of you again. See a lot of familiar faces, a lot of new faces, and can't wait to kick off this hackathon. So all of you are joining us on ETHGlobal.tv. That is our live setup that lets you experience this whole event with us in a really shared state. So just as a heads up for all of you who are looking at this thing for the first time, we'll be using this platform for the entirety of this hackathon and for today, which means that you'll be able to watch the stream on the left side here in the window, and for any of the questions you have for our panelists, for our talks, or us, you can ask them here on the chat, and we'll be able to relay these questions directly to the speakers onto the live stream. Also, as a note, I really encourage all of you to sign up or log into the chat, because we will be giving out POAP NFT tokens for all the people who participated during this summit today. So if you haven't already logged in, try sign up and say hi to us in the chat. So with that said, this event, I want to talk to you a little bit about ETHGlobal. So Scaling Ethereum is brought to you by ETHGlobal, and ETHGlobal is an organization with a very simple mission. Our goal is to make it easy for thousands of developers to come on into the Web3 ecosystem and really shape the future that we're heading into. And we do that by hosting summits and hackathons. Scaling Ethereum is exactly that. This is a 3-week-long hackathon, and we also have a handful of summits as part of this month. And I'll be kind of walking through what's happening, starting with the summits. So we have 3 summits. Each of them will happen on Friday. Today is our first summit, which is a scaling summit, and you'll learn all the things about different scaling techniques to different scaling protocols and how they work, and all the details of anywhere from their internals to where they are to just what makes them possible. And we'll be covering all of that as a high-level overview right after this kickoff for the hackathon. Then next Friday, we'll have our merge summit. We'll be talking about what is happening with the ETH2 merge, and you'll kind of get to hear all the things about what we're doing to scale the layer 1 side of Ethereum. And then 2 weeks from now, which is Friday the 30th, we'll be doing our Zero Knowledge Summit, and we'll be kind of talking to a lot of interesting speakers about what is happening in the world of zero knowledge, especially as it relates to scalability, programmability, and overall the things that are just not possible without some of these new primitives. So all that said, there's a lot on the summit side that we'll be sharing on our website. And with that, I want to get off and talk to you about the hackathon. So this is a massive event for us. There's over 425 hackers that are participating just for the next few weeks on the hackathon side. And just alone for the summits, we already have 400 people attending who are not the hackers, but directly watching just the talks. The hackers themselves, all the participants are coming in from over 56 different countries, spanning 18 different time zones. So we're going to have a lot of fun over the next 3 to 4 weeks. And can't wait to see the hundreds of different types of projects we get to see that tackle scaling. This is just a simple map of where all the developers and participants are coming in from. We have a really, really diverse set of audience, and it's just going to be super fun. In addition to all of that, we also have 100+ mentors who are here to help you with your projects, especially if you have any questions related to scaling technologies that are out there. And they are coming in from over 20 different companies who will be there to help you really get to the project and really ship something super cool and fun. And on top of all of that, we tallied up the numbers, and this is the first event where we've broken our own records. We're giving away over $200,000 in prizes for this event. And it's going to be super fun to see all the amazing things that you built with different protocols to different solutions out there, and just challenging yourself to try new things. I want to especially thank some of our amazing sponsors here. So I want to thank Arbitrum, Optimism, ZK Sync, Startware, Scale, Loopring, The Graph, Seller, Connects, Polygon, Raiden, ZK Swap, Taurus, Compound Grants Program, Protocol Labs, the Uniswap Grants Program, Aave, Superfluid, Chainlink, NuCypher, Covalent, Zapper, 1inch, Teller, Secret Network, the Ethereum Foundation, IPFS Main, DPay, Near Protocol, Diversify, Rarible, Lemniscap, and ENS for being with us for this event. There are a lot of amazing scaling solutions. There's a lot of cool DeFi products that work on layer 2, and a lot of our supporters from the community that are helping us out with this event. And I'm super excited for all of us to join and just put our forces and heads together to really make something cool for the next month. So this event is called Scaling Ethereum, and a lot of what we talked about publicly has been really carefully shaped around what it means to do something related to scaling. And the most common question we got for this event was, what can I build if I don't know how to do things on layer 2? So I want to quickly highlight the intent from our side and sort of what this means for all of you who are listening in. The key thing to take away is that we don't want you to necessarily come in with all the context you need to have to do anything on layer 2. This event is designed specifically for us to see what it's going to take for the whole ecosystem to make the transition to layer 2 a lot easier. And as a result, we have support from a lot of existing DeFi protocols and a lot of existing layer 2 solutions to help make it possible for everybody to see what we need to do to get everything done as smooth as possible. And as a result, if you're not sure how something works, this is the type of event where you get to ask the layer 2 solutions that you might be interested in using to understand how you can actually deploy something that you already have on mainnet onto layer 2. And that means you can try to port existing things you've done in the past from in the DeFi world, or if you were a participant in the last NFT hackathon, and see if you can deploy the same things on a layer 2 system and really make it easy for everybody to use your application without any gas or additional costs. You also have now the ability to really work on brand new applications, whether they're in DeFi or just any other category, to deploy directly on layer 2 and really start and pave the way for a brand new ecosystem to emerge on the layer 2 side. There are a lot of developer tools that we need to make it easy to have others also try out and bring L2 to mainstream. And on top of all of that, you don't have to necessarily only have to do a programming related project. You can also use this time to make it easy for others to learn how to do something on L2. And that means you can work on documentation, you can work on guides, you can work on anything you can to make it easy for everybody else out there to really explore how they can move everything to a more scalable solution. So that gives you a little bit more context. And I have a few more things that I want to share on that, and we'll go through that in just a few minutes. So we have the summit today, and we have the hackathon kicking off. So I want to give a quick overview of how the hackathon is going to work for the next 3 weeks. For those of you who participated in NFT Hack, you probably saw our weekend version of a hackathon, and we're kind of going back to a month-long series where we give enough time to really understand and really make sure that you are getting the help you need to submit and work on your projects. So I'll be walking through what it means from the team formation side, how you can get help, or how you can think about new ideas, all the prizes you can win, how the talks and workshops are going to be set up, how judging and submission is going to work for this one, and then lastly, the summits and how you can expect to be a lot more engaged with our summit-related talks. So for all of the participants of the hackathon, the key thing to notice here is that everything is happening on Discord, which means that if you have staked on your dashboard and you've connected your Discord, you will see what's on the left side here on the screenshot, which means there's a Scaling Ethereum category, and there are more than one channel that show up. And that means you've successfully gained access to all of the event-specific channels. And if you're not seeing any of these channels, please message anybody on the ETHGlobal team on Discord, but this is where everything is going to happen. This has channels for all of us to talk with each other. This has the channels for you to ask any of the protocols, questions specific to those protocols. So you can see on the bottom of that screenshot, if you have a question about a really specific company or a protocol, you can message them there and they'll be there to help you. You can have all the things from just generic help you can need on the developer side, whether it's Solidity or front end or back end. All these things are all going to happen through Discord. And that's where all of our mentors are also going to be. On top of all of that, we've also sent a calendar invite for all the key talks and workshops that are happening over the next few weeks. and the entire schedule for everything that's happening, whether it's the hackathon or the summit, is already on the website. We want this thing to be as asynchronous as possible. So if you are in a position where you can attend something because of a time zone or a conflict, we want this thing to be as easy as possible for you to catch up on. So all of that is available on scaling.ethglobal.co, and you can check everything there from all the details, and it'll be updated live every time we do something. So with that, let's go into how the hackathon is structured. Essentially, you can start working on a project now. In terms of the rules and the criteria for this event, everything that you're going to submit must begin during the course of the hackathon, and you can start coding as of today. You can have up to 5 members on your team if you would like to work on a team, and you have 3 weeks from now to submit. So that is 3 weeks and the Sunday that's coming from there. So in terms of quickly just going over the rules more granularly, everything that you are submitting to be eligible for a prize must be done during the course of this hackathon, which means that anything that you're submitting should be done from today to the next 3 week onwards. All the submissions should be related to scalability. And this is a very broad rule that we're bringing on for this event. And that means whatever you're doing should interact with something related to either a layer 2 system or a layer 1 scaling side, which means that if you're only working on something that's entirely just DeFi and does nothing to address anywhere from throughput to gas costs or any sort of abstraction, it will unfortunately not be eligible for this event. We really want everybody to see what's possible on the layer 2 side. And there are a lot of options out there that have different trade-offs and different features that you can explore. And we would like you to give that a try. On top of all of that, only RSVP'd attendees are eligible to win any prizes, which means that if your teammates are not on your team from our dashboard officially and you do win a prize, we will not be able to give a prize to somebody who's not listed as a team member during the time of submission. So you really want to make sure that everybody who's on your team is confirmed as an attendee and is successfully added as a team member on your dashboard. And on top of all of that, we know that there are a lot of broad categories here that will always have their edge cases. So if you have any other questions or clarifications you would like, you can ask anybody on the global team to clarify, and we'll be happy to answer those questions for you. And I kind of really want to just dig into the fact that a lot of you have said, I don't know how certain things work on L2, or I'm super new to, I've only been doing Solidity for a few weeks to a few months, and I'm really new to all this thing. Am I still a good candidate to be a participant at this event? The answer is yes, because we want this to be exploratory by design. And on top of all of that, there are a lot of others who are also in a very similar position as you, and we really want to make sure that you have a chance to find somebody who's in a similar position and work together. So as a result, if you are still looking for a team, you can head over to find a team channel on our Discord, and you can talk to everybody who is also looking for team members, whether that's a complementary skill set or they don't know what they want to work on. You can use that channel to see everybody who's in a similar position and contact those attendees and potentially pair up. On top of all of that, we really encourage all of you to introduce yourself in the scaling channel, because there's over 500 of you from so many different parts of the world. And it'd be awesome to get to know all of you from our side. And on top of all of that, we are doing a few live calls as well for you to help find potential teammates. So there was one earlier today. If you missed that one, there's going to be another one on Monday. The schedule and all that information is on our Discord and also the website. So you can join that call if timing permits and really use that to talk to people who are also looking for teammates. And on top of all of that, it is not required that you have a team. Obviously, it makes things a lot easier if you have a few people doing certain things. But you are totally also welcome to work independently and hack solo. So all that said, let's talk about talks and workshops. There is a lot of content that we're working on for this event, because this is really the opportunity for everybody to see what's possible and what's happening on the layer 2 side, the ETH2 merge side, and zero knowledge side. And this content touches everyone from beginners to experts in this ecosystem. So there's going to be talks, panels, workshops. There's for the hackers here, We're going to be doing a feedback session every week, which means that if you're working on something that you would like real-time feedback or help or any guidance, you can join a call with us once a week and really showcase what you've been doing so far and really kind of use that as a way to get direct help in a live setting. On top of all of that, all this information is also available on your info center, which all of you should have a link for in every email and calendar invite. And because this is designed to be as asynchronous as possible, if you cannot attend a talk or a workshop because of a time zone or any other conflict, you can immediately watch that after it ends on our YouTube channel because everything is recorded. So there's no need to try to do everything as it happens or make any different trade-offs. We are recording everything. And one more time, everything is available on scaling.ethglobal.co. So lastly, there's a few more things. So check-ins. So everybody who has staked here knows that we are introducing the notion of check-ins for our 3-week-long event. And the gist of all of this is a check-in is something that happens once a week where we'll message you on Discord and also your dashboard and ask you to give an update on what you've done since the last time we chatted. This is designed as a way for us to help make sure that you are not blocked in anything or you're getting all the help you need. And this is the time where you get to ask us for things that you would like to get anywhere from help on or unstuck on, or you need to really think through something or just tell us what's happening. Because it is a 3-week-long event, we are not expecting you to spend too much time or all of your time on these on your projects. So these check-ins are designed as a way for us to get a pulse of what's happening with your project. Your stake is returned if you respond to these check-ins on your dashboard and if you submit a project, and all that information again is available on the info center and also on your dashboard, and all this will be managed directly through your dashboard. To give a quick overview, a lot of you usually ask us what it means for these check-ins, and this is like a simple slide where I just want to give an idea of like what this means and how you should think about structuring it. We'd like you to spend the first week, which is the next 7 days, exploring sort of what is possible if you don't already have an idea on understanding what you would like to work on or find potential other people to work with, or really think through what you're trying to do is possible and kind of the best things, the tools or the protocols you need to work with. You should spend the second week really having a basic version of your idea done so you can try it out, get feedback from us, get feedback from any mentors or sponsors. And on the third week, you should just polish it up to see if everything is good to go and add any additional things you want to add to make it really nice and ready for submissions. And that should be the week where you're kind of in a state to submit everything and record that video. And submissions are due again on the 9th, which is 3 weeks from now. So the way judging is going to work is that as you are readying the day of the submission deadline, you'll be required to make a 4-minute video for your project. And this video will be the official submission. So where everything will be video submissions only. So this really gives you all this time to make sure that you can really tell us about who you are, what you've been working on, and what your app is and your submission is, and record that and submit that on your dashboard. And we'll use this video to do the judging for the event, which happens the week of the few days after submissions. And all this again happens through all of your dashboards. So just a quick reminder that because you have to make a video, please make sure that you don't do this thing last minute, because it does take a little bit of time to make sure that the video is just anywhere from within the time limit to doesn't have any audio video issues, and is really the best encapsulation of yourself as a team and your project. And of course, this is an online event with hundreds of people, so we want to make sure that all of you are being mindful of our code of conduct. The rules and the criteria for how we want everybody to behave is outlined on ethglobal.co/rules. And even though we have a lot of details there, the gist of it is that please be respectful to everybody on the Discord and for this event. Harassment and abuse is not tolerated in any form. And if you need any help, or if you have any questions or concerns, whether it's about how your experience has been at the event or on our mentorship or literally any topic about the event, please don't hesitate to reach out to anybody on the global team, and we'll be happy to address and answer any of your questions. And finally, because there's a lot to wrap up, I want to remind everybody here that you should definitely pace yourself. We don't want this thing to be a marathon. The event is specifically designed to be 3 weeks because we don't want you to actively make any trade-offs or choices between your work or your school or any other full-time or longer commitments. And this, having all this time makes it easy for you to really pick the time and the hours you want to spend on your projects. And we don't want this thing to be exhausting for you in any form. We want you to specifically have fun doing this thing because all these events are designed as a platform and a way for all of us to share what's happening in this ecosystem and how you can learn what's going on, especially at the cutting edge. And this specific event is very much about experimentation because not only are you learning about what could be possible on layer 2, all of our protocols are here to get that feedback to understand how they can make that transition from layer 1 to layer 2 the best experience as possible. So really focus on the learning side of this, and we want to be there to help you get to where you want to be as part of your events. So all that said, that covers all of the logistics. I want to wish everybody a very happy hacking for the next 3 weeks. And I'm going to quickly shift gears to what is happening today with some of the prizes, our sponsors, and then move us off into our scaling summit. So today's schedule is as follows. We are going to have a lot of amazing talks about what is happening in the world of scalability. We're going to learn about what all the types of rollups are and how they work. Then we're specifically going to focus on how optimistic rollups work and how the OVM is designed. We're going to learn about how optimistic rollup works from the Arbitrum side. Then we're going to do a quick panel on different trade-offs and how these rollup architectures are different and how they work. We're going to learn a bit more about how specifically Ethereum native chains work with layer 1. We're going to learn about generally how the broad ecosystem of layer 2 has expanded from sidechains to generally just other native app specific blockchains. We're going to learn about the nuances of what it means to think about security of your assets for optimistic rollups. We're going to learn about how liquidity and specifically DeFi things will be possible in the world of L2. We're also going to have a lot more talks around just how do we actually make a lot more financial applications on the layer 2 side as we move everything over. Then we're going to switch gears and learn more about the world of ZK rollups. So we're going to have a talk on ZK Porter. We're going to learn a bit more about Starknets and what Startware is doing. And then we also want to really show what's possible on the protocols that have already existed on layer 2 for a little while. And that's when we'll learn about how Synthetics is currently on Optimism and what they've learned and how they are thinking about their transition to layer 2. So this is just a quick preview of some of our talks, but I'll kind of go through all of those as they happen in about an hour and a half. And with that, I want to really kind of focus on some of the prizes for this hackathon and some of our amazing sponsors. So there's a lot of things happening on that front. And what we're going to do is we ask some of our sponsors to share and record some videos for us to talk us through who they are, why they're excited to be part of this event, what they're working on, and how you can use their protocols or their apps into your hacks. So we're going to be quickly walking through some of these companies and these protocols. And what we'll do is we'll have Arbitrum first kick us off with what they are going to be sharing. And we'll play a recorded video for them real quick.
Welcome to Scaling Ethereum. I'm Steven, co-founder and CEO of Off-Chain Labs, the team building Arbitrum. We're super excited to be sponsoring the hackathon and can't wait to see all the awesome projects that you'll build. And we hope that you'll hack on Arbitrum. Arbitrum is an optimistic rollup scaling solution for Ethereum that's currently live on Kovan with an open, public, and permissionless testnet and coming soon to a mainnet near you. We'll be actively participating throughout the hackathon, and some events that you don't want to miss are the brainstorming session at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday night, the Arbitrum keynote at 1:45 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday, followed immediately by the optimistic rollup panel, which we'll be participating in. And on Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, you can roll up your sleeves at the Arbitrum workshop and work with our developers to start building on Arbitrum. If you have any questions throughout the process, technical questions, just want to bounce ideas off us, or definitely to show us what you've built, please join us on Discord. We'll be active in the Scaling Ethereum Discord, as well as the Off-Chain Labs Discord, and we're there to support you every step of the way. And if you had so much fun in the hackathon building an Arbitrum and you couldn't get enough, well, we're hiring, so please join our team.
Hi everybody, I'm Ed Felton. I'm co-founder and chief scientist at Off-Chain Labs. Let me tell you why you should use Arbitrum. Arbitrum has low cost and is scalable. We get the gas cost of most transactions down to around 2,000 L1 gas. Arbitrum is fully EVM compatible. You can send EVM code directly to it. There's no special compiler, there's no special version. You don't have to use Solidity or Viper. You can use whatever toolchain you want. There's nothing to download. An Arbitrum node speaks exactly the same RPC API as an Ethereum node. So to deploy a contract or to submit a transaction, you can send the very same bits that you send to Ethereum. Arbitrum is trustless. It's built on top of Ethereum. Its security is rooted in Ethereum. And Arbitrum guarantees that any one honest party can force correct execution of the entire chain. Arbitrum lets you break out of the limits that Ethereum puts on you. You can go beyond Ethereum's transaction gas limit. Some other solutions have a lower gas limit than Ethereum. Ours is much, much higher. You can go beyond the contract size limit. Because of the way that Arbitrum works, we never need to deploy your contract on L1 or run an entire transaction on L1. And therefore we can break beyond those super annoying size limits. And finally, Arbitrum is a more mature technology. We've been running an open public testnet for about 6 months now. That's a full system and includes the fraud proofs, all the security features and everything. Not a demonstration, a real system. You can use our Coven 4 testnet today. We're a community project. We have never limited access to Arbitrum and we never will. Our testnets have been and our mainnet will be free and open for everyone to use. What you see on testnet now is a mainnet release candidate. We are close to mainnet release. We're not yet ready to announce a date, but you'll be hearing about a mainnet date very soon. How do we do that? We do that by using an optimistic roll-up type of approach with a little bit of secret sauce. So we record the call data of transactions on the L1 chain. We move computation and storage off-chain, and the protocol merely confirms on the L1 chain what everyone already knows is the correct result. And it's optimistic. That means that in the normal case, people simply post on the L1 chain a correct claim about what your transaction will do, what the chain will do. We have a special and super efficient dispute resolution protocol that allows us to resolve any disputes that happen very quickly. So Arbitrum checks all the boxes. I don't think any other system can say it checks all 5 of the boxes. Low cost and scalability, fully EVM compatible, trustless, breaking beyond the contract size and gas limits, and mature and fully available in a system today. If you have any questions using Arbitrum, please reach out and let us know.
Hey there. My name's Harry Kolodner, and I'm co-founder and CTO of Off-Chain Labs. We've been sponsoring ETHGlobal hackathons for almost 2 years now, and we're pumped to be back. We're especially excited because this hackathon focuses on scaling Ethereum, which is an area near and dear to our hearts as we've been developing Arbitrum. In order to make sure that everyone is excited as we are, we're offering our largest hackathon prizes yet, totaling $12,000. I'm going to tell you more about how you can win these prizes building on Arbitrum this hackathon. Our prizes are broken down into 4 categories: scalability, cross-chain interoperability, protocol development, and tooling. The winner of each category will receive a $3,000 prize. I'm going to give you a bit more detail about each category so you can start to develop ideas for what you'll build this hackathon. Our first prize is eligible to any team that deploys their smart contracts on Arbitrum. But we're most excited about teams that take advantage of the scalability that Arbitrum provides to stretch the limits of what's possible in smart contracts. This is a pretty open-ended prize, so we'd love for teams to have fun with it and can't wait to see what you come up with. Next up, I want to talk about cross-chain interoperability. Arbitrum provides the general capability for Ethereum contracts to make Arbitrum transactions and Arbitrum contracts to make Ethereum transactions. This sort of general ability to send transactions between the chains is a powerful building block for new cross-chain primitives. A few ideas in this category are cross-chain dexes, new types of fast withdrawals, and cross-chain synthetic assets. And we'll be happy to brainstorm with teams working towards these ideas or others. For this next prize, you'll be integrating directly at layer 1 with the Arbitrum smart contracts themselves. This is your chance to get into the nitty-gritty details of protocol development by integrating directly with the core Arbitrum rollup smart contracts or the Arbitrum token bridge smart contracts. Work towards this prize to make the Arbitrum rollup protocol even better for Ethereum. Last, but definitely not least, our final prize will go to the best Arbitrum-related tooling. Developer and user experience is critically important for the migration to layer 2, and we'd like to recruit scaling Ethereum hackers to help. This prize will go to a team who makes an awesome piece of tooling to make Arbitrum easier to understand, easier to use, or easier to develop for. Thanks for listening, and I hope people are excited to learn more and dig into Arbitrum over the course of this hackathon. Good luck and have fun.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Harry and Ed. Those are super well, thank you so much, Harry and Ed, for giving us an overview of Arbitrum and what you'll be doing for your prizes. For all of you looking who did not have a chance to catch up on the prizes that were just shared, I want to just quickly summarize that Arbitrum will be giving away $12,000 here, and they'll be giving prizes for the best use of Arbitrum scalability, the best use of cross-chain interoperability, the best use of Arbitrum protocol in general, and the best tooling related submissions for Arbitrum. So we've shared all this again in our prizes page. And with that, I want to go on to our next sponsor, and that is Optimism. So we'll be sharing a quick video about Optimism and how they're excited to be part of this event.
Hello hackers, welcome to the Optimism keynote. This maybe should have been a presentation on the technology and how it works, but it is not that. It's more like some kind of montage. In any case, I hope that you enjoy it, and I hope that you stay hydrated and that you stop by our Discord to say hi.
At the dawn of time, the first ever response to the Bitcoin white paper, http://www.bitcoin.org/bitcoin.pdf. We very much need such a system, but the way I understand your proposal, it does not seem to scale to the required size.
A long time ago.
What?
I'm trying to think. Okay. How do I do it?
Fun, more Carl.
Okay. Blockchain scalability. Oh, yeah. It was a real hard problem. We came together from all corners to solve it.
Hello. I'm Josh Stein. I'm the CEO of Harbor.
All right. So I'm Carl. I'm a researcher at the Ethereum Foundation.
Hey everyone, my name is Kevin Ho, and I'm going to be your lecturer for Chapter 3.
I'm Morellian, founding member of Consensus Diligence and a smart contract auditor.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So I'm Ben. I'm a part of Plasma Group, which is an open source community-driven Plasma implementation. All right, everyone. So next up, we have Liam Horn. He's going to be telling us about state channels. Clap, come on now. There we go.
All right. Hey, is that TV? Show the slides or no?
A couple posts by Vitalik and, 17 Plasma implementers calls later. My God, these have been crazy. And
Plasma XT, Plasma MVP, Plasma Unlimited, Plasma Cash, Plasma Debit, Plasma Cash Flow.
Yet another Plasma, thank goodness.
What is going on?
Plasma Prime. This is, I would say,
fun with names, to be honest with you. I mean, so the kind of history of Plasma is somewhat interesting. Iteration after iteration, first Plasma MVP came out, but we realized that there were mass exit vulnerabilities, and then Plasma Cash kind of addresses this, but it has its own weakness with fungible assets and transaction history growth, and then Plasma XT trying to address transaction history growth, and then Plasma Debit trying to address the fungibility problem, and then finally Plasma Cash Flow and Plasma Unlimited. These are the kind of the frontier, which you'll hear about soon.
We did some user testing with IDEO, actually, and we realized that people wanted functionality. They wanted smart contracts. They wanted a Web 2 experience, not scalability.
And we, scaled thousands of transactions per second with Plasma. Like an annoying parent, I would hear, "Can it run Uniswap?" And the sad truth is, no, it couldn't at the time run Uniswap. And so we went back to the drawing board. And we thought of generalized plasma.
Stands for one coin on chain, because the coin on chain belongs to this next chain, belongs to this one. This is sharded plasma. This is sharded plasma. Also sharded plasma. It's one. You only write one Plasma Cash exchange ever.
Exactly. One of the main research hurdles that we surpassed this year with Plasma was the creation of Generalized Plasma.
You totally verify it. It's so fucking sad. You guys, it's insane. So good.
What Generalized Plasma allows is for some limited subset of what you can do with an Ethereum smart contract. So you kind of have smart contracts on layer 2, which is pretty dope.
So all this has then is a function that just asks that if it can be exited. Exactly. And all this has the fucking function that asks the coin if it can be exited. Exactly. And that tells it where to ask we need another exit. Oh my god.
But can it run Uniswap? And once again, the sad answer was no, it cannot. We did not have the unstoppable smart contracts of Ethereum layer 1.
Generalized Plasma was a lesson on many fronts. It honestly sucks ass to scrap something that you've been working so hard on for so long, but ultimately it wasn't pragmatic, and we learned that Ethereum smart contract devs want to build with ease, which means preserving the existing experience, not onboarding devs onto a whole new development paradigm. So because of those fundamental limitations, we scrapped the whole project and started anew.
We're very clever, and so we came up with the name Optimistic Rollup. And so it turns out that in this trade-off space, you can get general computation, and you can get the no data withholding, problem, the kind of unstoppable nature.
And it turns out that the ability to have data on chain basically just gets around some very fundamental game theory issues that have to do with data availability.
And so that gives you what really resembles smart contracts inside of layer 2. But can it run Uniswap? Yes, my gosh, of course it can run Uniswap.
First question down. Let's go.
All right, so what are we building? So we are here building Optimistic Ethereum. Now, what is Optimistic Ethereum? In one exhale.
Optimistic Ethereum is fundamentally a proposal to enable scalability on Ethereum. It's an upgrade to Ethereum. It's not a different thing. That's the goal of the Optimistic Ethereum network. It's the goal of Optimism as a project, is to make Ethereum scale, not to become something different that tries to scale Ethereum.
Optimistic Ethereum is just like Ethereum, but with better scalability, 10 to 100x cheaper, and secured by L1.
Okay, guys, I want you to tell me what optimism is with as many buzzwords as possible, and it's okay if they don't make any sense. What is optimism?
Optimism is the layer 2 scalability stack for Ethereum.
That's what it says on our website.
Shit. Roll it up. Okay, Carl.
Okay.
What are you learning from this?
I'm learning the reality of George Hotz's advice of keeping things extremely simple and using the simplest tool to get the job done.
The optimistic Ethereum design philosophy is keep it simple. That was completely wrong.
Where did we fail?
We failed by having a feature that was not going to be used by our protocol or integrated by our protocol until it was complete. So we didn't have an iterative strategy for building this feature. Instead, it was a full top-down approach where we built out all the failure modes, all the edge cases from day one.
I think we've learned that premature optimization is a trap.
Yeah. So despite our best efforts to build an MVP every single time, we went within a waterfall approach and then we slapped the agile process over it and pretended like we were doing some fucking agile MVP shit.
The optimistic Ethereum design philosophy is keep it stupid simple and don't get wrecked. Plus also aligning yourself with Ethereum as a whole.
What does that mean?
If you write a bunch of code that you design an entirely new protocol, is it still Ethereum anymore? It's like a ship of Theseus type thing.
Right? We're not sitting here trying to go, oh, Ethereum doesn't work because it doesn't scale. We have to reinvent everything so that it scales. It's to say, well, we did the best that we could at the time. We now understand how to scale underlying blockchain systems better, and we have to apply those models to the existing amazingness that is Ethereum.
I'm not running our code as a standalone bit of software that now people need to understand the depths of. We're running it as diffs against the existing tech stack.
And our philosophy is like very, very minimal diff.
What really gets me going is like looking at that 200-line div compiler, you know what I mean? Like think of the complexity eliminated from like, you know, our early days of transpilation of like your 6,000-line JavaScript, you know, bytecode ingester versus now you just like write, you know, 200 lines of UL and it's done, you know? It's just phenomenal.
If you're wondering why it's taking us so damn long to write a 200-line compiler, that's because it takes so many more than 200 lines to get to the right 200 lines that maximizes functionality for minimum lines. And that's just for the compiler. Optimistic Ethereum is extremely complex because it has a lot of moving pieces. And so it takes many, many iterations to get that right.
Just because there's not a large diff, like doesn't mean that you don't have to put a lot of thought into like what that diff is.
You know, none of this is perfect yet. We have to find the right balance between pragmatism, auditability, shipping speed, and it's all trade-offs. Code is really sensitive. Even very small changes can have very big breaking impacts. So one benefit of minimizing the diff is compatibility with a whole ecosystem of Ethereum developer tooling.
Ridiculous for us to think that we could come in and like catch up with 5 years of like global open source development. Is just not practical. Like,
because there's a reason people have been doing that work for years and years. It takes a lot of effort to make things good.
There's something really awesome to be said for going from corporate to startups because as a nurse, I felt like I knew everything on the ground, but I was a drop in not even a bucket, but the ocean.
You used to work at a hedge fund. Why are you working here now?
This is where the action is.
Holy shit, come on, 1,000 Gwei. 1,000 Gwei.
Oh, it was accepted.
Oh my god.
What was wrong there?
If they don't fucking accept a 1,000 Gwei transaction, I'm pissed.
You just said 1,000
$20 for the other one, and no compute.
We got in. That was a disaster.
I went to my first Ethereum hackathon in 2017, ETH Waterloo. I was really worried that it's gonna be these crypto anarchists. They're gonna be unwelcoming to a noob like me. What I found was a community that was super inclusive and willing to help. I remember someone stayed up with me until 2 a.m. walking through the Ethereum yellow paper. Yeah, and I just think working at Optimism, I can feel those same vibes of welcoming, inclusivity. Yeah.
Wow, the sand feels so good.
Why is solving fundamental problems in blockchain fun?
Solving fundamental problems in blockchain involves solving fundamental problems in computer science.
And that's fun.
Yeah, they're hard problems in computer science, problems that haven't been solved before.
So why not do it at Google or something?
Because I don't really care about serving ads faster to people. I don't really wake up excited in the morning to track people on the internet.
What do you wake up excited in the morning to do?
To solve fundamental problems in blockchain.
Okay, prize.
Although I am a sucker for compilers, so that would be good too. Some new compiler could be fun.
Like a Viper compiler?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or Fey.
Ooh.
Adding increased time to geth.
I didn't participate in the optimistic Ethereum. Gosh, guys. We want to give back to the community as a whole, so we have prizes dedicated to hacks that benefit Ethereum as a whole. This could be contributions to Hard Hat or Ethers or an EIP, really, you name it. We also have prizes dedicated to hardcore, helpful, and meme hacks. So it could be geth mods, Viper compilers, ports of existing contracts, new layer 2 native contracts, cross-chain, t-shirt designs, riffs on our brand or our logo, beautiful NFT artwork that we can gift to our community members. All of these count. I'm super looking forward to what you guys are building. The distinction between categories is not that clear, so just give it a shot. Oh, and you should go to the website for the detailed prize information. But we are putting fat stacks in each category, so definitely go check it out. Okay, last note, Carl is going to be giving a presentation later today if you want to get a little bit more in-depth into how the technology behind optimistic rollup works. So look out for his presentation at 10:30 a.m. PT.
That was extremely fun and entertaining to watch. Thank you so much, the entire Optimism team. And that was super illustrative and just reminds us back when we can go back to the in-person events that ETHGlobal does. And I can't wait to see so many more stories and teams like this. So that was super awesome to watch. I hope all of you got to learn a bit more context about optimism and optimistic rollups in general as well. And just to summarize what Jing said at the end, the prizes are available on the website from ETHGlobal as well as the Optimism specific domain. But the prizes for Optimism are the most hardcore hack. We'll be giving $4,000 for that. The most helpful hack, $4,000 again for this. The best use of memes will get $1,750 in total. And the best good for the community hack category will have $3,000 being given away. So hope you had a chance to enjoy that video as well. And we are ready to learn more about our next sponsor. And that is ZK Sync. So let's watch the intro video by them.
Hi, everyone. Really happy to be here and honored to greet you at the ETHGlobal Scaling Hackathon. And what a time to be in crypto in these crazy times. I just bought these 2 NFTs from a local OTC at a great discount to celebrate the Coinbase going public. But let's start. My name is Alex. I am CEO and co-founder of Meta Labs and one of the co-creators of ZK Sync, which is the first EVM-compatible ZK rollup. And ZK rollup is the most interesting scaling protocol, L2 scaling protocol, because it has the same security properties as a layer 1, which is it's the only protocol which has this ability. And we are very excited about the EVM compatibility, which is coming on testnet in May. and will be released in production in August. Please come join us at a ZK EVM talk at ETHGlobal ZK Summit in 2 weeks, I guess, where we're going to deep dive into the details how we did that. But ZK Sync is first and foremost a mission-driven project. It started because we wanted to make a contribution into acceleration of mass adoption of crypto. We believe in freedom, and we believe that freedom will be enhanced in all of the world through the mass adoption of crypto. And we're building our philosophy on the Ethereum's values of fairness, inclusion, and resilience. And we do everything around those values to support them technologically, using the power of zero knowledge proofs, which I think is the most most underrated and the most promising technology for crypto for the coming decades. We are happy to support this hackathon with a number of prizes. We're going to offer you mentorship. We will be there for you to answer questions about ZK Sync, about zero knowledge proofs, share ideas, provide any feedback. And I just want to offer you one of the recipes how to pick great ideas to work on, which are going to catch a lot of attention and will lead to something really big and successful. And that is, please think several moves ahead. Don't build something that solves an immediate problem. Don't build something that is obvious today. Build something that solves a problem which will become acute once the current problems are solved. And if we look back at history, we started ZK Sync a couple of years ago with DevCon 4, where I first met my co-founder and we discussed the idea. Back then, the fees on Ethereum were minuscule. The scaling was vaguely in the air, but it was not at all a burning problem. However, we realized that if crypto is going to become big and all the dApps which were being built back then, and those were like the actual things that people needed, like DeFi and NFTs and all the protocols we have and enjoy, most of them were not available back then, and they were kind of obvious things to work on. But we thought, okay, if those are going to be big and get a lot of traction and get a lot of usage, 20 TPS is by far not going to be enough. So we started working on scalability, also because zero knowledge proofs were becoming mature, and it was clear that we will be able to use it and solve scalability, breaking out of the scalability trilemma for them. So yeah, we launched in summer last year. We are now live on mainnet with a ZK rollup for payments. In May this year, NFTs and trading is coming to mainnet. And also we released a testnet for ZK Sync 2.0 with support for Solidity and general EVM compatibility or EVM portability. But this year, yeah, of course, we expect a summer of scaling with a lot of scaling solutions launching, and a lot of users who were excluded from the participation in Ethereum because of high fees are coming back from side chains, from other layer ones. And a lot of new users who got excited about NFTs and all the crypto buzz are coming to Ethereum as well. But let's think one step ahead again. Like, what's going to be, like, once those solutions launch and all these users come back, what's going to happen? And retrospectively, if we look at what happened over the past year, we will see a very interesting phenomenon. The number of users in Ethereum, the active DeFi users, grew around 1,000 times, but the fees grew quadratically proportional to that. And the reason for this is induced demand, a term which describes what happens where you increase the capacity of some public good and a lot of more users coming, and you have a lot of more new use cases, and also trading just intensifies. The existing use cases already intensified. And this is likely what's going to happen with rollups, unfortunately. The expectation is that we'll get 100x more users with 100x scalability boost, but the reality might be closer that we just get a lot more trading again and some more use cases, plus or multiplied by the number of all those users, which will just eat up the the scalability boost, and the prices. Currently, rollup transaction prices are around $1, like more or less. If they grow 10x, 50x, 100x, we again are going to have a whole class of users who are excluded from the Ethereum ecosystem, and this is not cool. So we were thinking about this, and we built a solution called ZK Porter, which falls under the class of Volition, and it combines the best properties of ZK Rollup and Validium. And we encourage you to come to our talk on Friday at 5 o'clock Eastern, where we're going to deep dive into that. And this brings, this is really interesting. I'm very, very excited about this. Please come to the talk. Really, you're not going to regret it. And yeah, but then there's going to be a next problem that a lot of rollups that launch will have centralized sequencers, and this will jeopardize the resilience of these protocols, because all of a sudden we are subject to a lot of pressure, maybe political pressure, maybe some economic or like just some faulty behavior, which we will solve for ZK Sync with an L2 consensus, which we're currently working on already. And then we think one more step ahead about the problem which will come after next, which is minor extractable value, which jeopardizes fairness, because the class of users will be in a lot better position than others using those values. So we will solve it again with cryptography and with zero knowledge proofs with time-locked encryption. So yeah, looking forward to what you guys are going to build. We are there for you. And yeah, have a lot of fun at this hackathon. Thank you.
Amazing. So that was Alex talking to you about ZK Sync and ZK Porter. And just to summarize what they're doing for prizes, they'll be giving away 4,000 USDC for the first place of ZK Sync use. Then there'll be 2,000 USDC dollars for second place. And then 4 teams will win 500 USDC for the third place for the best use of ZK Sync technologies. So with that, let's move on to our second ZK Rollup sponsor, and that is Startware, and I'll let them share a bit about themselves.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Eli Ben-Sasson, and I am co-founder and president of Startware, and I would like to tell you in this 8-minute talk a little bit about the road we're taking from ZK Stark to Starknet. And I would like to tell you that it goes through Cairo, which is a very cool programming language to which you're all invited to come and start programming in. And that's the purpose of our address to you in this hackathon. So Starknet is going to be an Ethereum-like Stark rollup. It's going to have very low amortized gas per transaction. It's going to have tremendously good TPS, transactions per second. So everyone wants to come over to it, right? Just a little bit more about what do we mean by Ethereum-alike. It is going to be universal and support any smart contract logic that you wish, just like on Ethereum. It's going to be permissionless. You can deploy smart contracts without asking permission from anyone. Anyone can submit transactions in a decentralized manner. It's going to be fully decentralized. Both operators and provers are going to be decentralized. It's going to have some form of crypto economic incentives to the various participants in the network, the provers, the operators, developers, and so on. Now, to your question, whether there will be a token, so the answer is no comment. Good. So we'd like to get there, and we're already on our way. So already in 2020, Startware has deployed the foundations for Starknet, and I'll talk about that in the next slide. And all of these foundations are already humming in practice, in production, and delivering scale for our customers. And we want to expand this to everyone. So during 2021, within a couple of months, we will give access to Planets, which is going to be run by a single operator and offer only a single app on it. By summer, we're going to have Constellations that's going to allow multiple apps to compose with one another, running on a single operator. And by 2022, we're going to reach the stage of Universe, which is going to be this Ethereum-like decentralized multiple operator system, permissionless for everyone. Great. So a little bit about the foundations, the stuff we achieved so far. And I want to mention all of these things are right now operating in production and supporting our customers. So first of all, we have Cairo, which is the programming language in which we express our logic. And this will be the programming language to be used also for getting scale and efficiency on StarkNet. We have StarkX, which is an application layer, and it will be ported and streamlined and ported over to become smart contracts over StarkNet. And currently we have 3 StarkX applications. So think of these as 3 preliminary anchor smart contracts that are going to be ported over to StarkNet. And we have the framework of Stark provers, the most powerful provers in the world, with the leanest, fastest, meanest, and most secure cryptography behind them that also reaches the vastly greater scale than that obtained in production by any other proving system. So the 3 applications we have already running, the first one was Diversify, spot trading, deployed already in production over the past summer. It reaches currently a TPS of 9,000 for trading. So 9,000 trades can be done per second, and all of this on mainnet Ethereum. For payments, you can double that and have 18,000 transactions per second. A week ago, we deployed 2 systems, immutable with NFT trading. It is the only solution for scalable NFT trading right now that also sits on Ethereum. It gives you a price of not $40 per minting of an NFT, but rather 1/5 of a cent. And during the very first day it went live, the amount of trading that went on Immutable X was greater than all of the NFT related trading that took place on the week before that on Ethereum L1. And it didn't really, affect gas prices, all of this scale. The third system that was also deployed last week, 2 systems deployed in production within roughly 2 days. This is the first Stark rollup. It is DYDX and it supports perpetual and margin trading. And it reduced the gas cost per trade by a factor of 50x. Again, it's the first rollup for Stark that is right now running in production. So these 3 anchor systems are going to be part of StarkNet, and they are all written in Cairo, which is the language that gives you the best access to using the power of Starks. So what are Starks, and how do we get from Starks to StarkNet through Cairo? So ZK Starks are a family of very powerful cryptographic proofs that offer computational integrity. And computational integrity in the context of blockchains roughly means doing the right computation even when you're on an L2 and no one else is watching. So ZK means that you get the privacy of zero-knowledge proofs. The S in Stark stands for scalability, which means that the verification time per batch is only logarithmic or exponentially small in the amount of transactions going on in the batch, while the proving time stays nearly linear. It is a universal system, meaning you can get it for any computation in the world. It is transparent, that's the T in Stark, so no toxic waste, no trusted setup. It also gives you unlimited scale without reconfiguring the system. And it is based on lean and battle-hardened cryptography, basically on the security of hash functions like SHA-2 and SHA-3, and it is post-quantum secure. So how do you use it? Well, you take many transactions. So each one of these transactions is one of these little red squares. Each one could be, let's say, an NFT being minted. And instead of processing each one individually, you send them to a prover. The prover doesn't have to be trusted. The math of Stark implies that it cannot produce a proof. The proof is this red pi that is generated. The prover cannot get a proof if he's not asserting a statement that is correct. And then there's a verifier that runs an exponentially small time and checks whether the proof is correct. And again, the math of it allows you to move from the current system on the right, which is verification by naive replay. So you need to check each one of these NFT mints, and each one of them may cost, let's say, $40 in gas. You can move to a system where basically you get one proof that can assert for 600,000 mints mintings being correct, and a new state of the system captured by a Merkle root. And now you only need to verify the exponentially small proof, and then you move to the new state of the system. So this is how all of our systems work right now in the StarkEx mode, and they are written in Cairo. A few words about Cairo. Cairo is our minimal viable language for getting production Stark systems. It follows the Goldilocks principle. So it's the just right balance between the expressibility needed by developers and getting the Stark prover efficiency. It is very simple in its structure and virtual machine. It has only 3 registers and a minimal instruction set, but on the other hand, it is extremely powerful. It supports functions, recursion, branching, random memory access. Being production grade means that it comes with a very elaborate set of tools that is needed by developers, like a compiler, virtual machine IDE extensions, tracer, application code, examples, and so on and so forth. So summing up, our applications currently have been written in Cairo. They support diverse business logic, and sometimes this logic is quite complicated. And this is the best way for you to jump on the wagon or this train that is heading towards Starknet, and its next stop is going to be in summer 2021. So the next step is to join us on Discord. That's the left QR code, and go and start tapping into all of the resources of Cairo using the right QR code. So thank you very much.
Amazing. Thanks, Ellie. So you kind of got a quick overview of how Startware and their road to Starknet is going to make their debut here for this event. And what Startware is going to be doing is they're going to be giving away a few prizes. So the first place for the Startware prize will get $5,000 for the best use of integrations with the Starknet protocol. The second place, there will be 2 winners for the second place for 2 $3,000 prizes, and then there's going to be 3 $1,000 third place winners. So we'll be sharing a lot more details on these specific prizes. They're already available on our prize page, and you also kind of got a gist of Cairo and how the Starkware scaling solution works, and there'll be another talk for our summit later in the day, going more into details of how Starkware works with Ethereum. So with that, we are ready to move on to our next 2 sponsors. So we have Scale and Connext, and we'll be sharing a quick video for both of them.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jack O'Halloran. I am co-founder of Scale, the Scale Network, and the CEO of Scale Labs. Really excited to be here today. We've been doing hackathons or ETHGlobal hackathons since August of 2018. ETH Berlin was our first hackathon, and we've done every one since. So really, really pumped to be here, to be supporting you. And this hackathon in particular is very unique in that it goes for such a long period of time. So I think what that means is an opportunity to build even cooler things, get even more creative, put more effort and time into it. The other thing that I want to call out before we get into this, we've had the pleasure of having over 60 submissions on Scale, and we've given out over $60,000 worth of awards at ETH Hackathon. So I've seen a lot of these over the time, the last 3 years. And one thing I've noticed is that when you look at the teams building on hackathons and the sponsors that are there supporting them, you fast forward 18 to 24 months later, this is the future of crypto and decentralization. These things being hacked on become the things that are being used. So a lot of the things we see out in the wild today were actually ideas and thoughts and submissions at hackathons before. So it's a phenomenal way to build recognition as a developer, get awards, get awareness for your project or your team, but also to innovate and push the industry forward. So the people here doing this are the ones that will set forth the future agenda for Ethereum and Web3 and DeFi. Okay, without further ado, I'm gonna get into some slides and show you more about awards and how to hack on Scale. All right, here we go. So we'll get into the awards, talk a little bit about Scale, talk about how to deploy on Scale. I want to cover the hackathon support resources quickly, and then we'll close on a bit of a summary. So, all right, I'm really excited to say this is by far the biggest set of awards we've been able to give through Scale, and that's because the Scale token's now live, the network's live. There's $2 billion staked into the Ethereum mainnet, which gives pool security to the Scale network, and This is again coming from a community pool and going to developers. So there'll be 5 awards given. One will be the Denali Award, which is the name of the most recent upgrade. This week, the Scale Network is upgrading, and you're going to see Scale chains going live. You're going to see a lot of, there's over 100 teams in the Scale Innovator Program that'll be pushing out different applications in DeFi, Web3, gaming, NFT, B2B disruptors, social, music streaming, etc. All right. And then we'll have 3 Kilimanjaro Awards, which is the name of the first mainnet upgrade, first decentralized mainnet release last October. There'll also be 1 Partner Hack Award where you build something on another partner at the hackathon or an ecosystem partner, integrate that with Scale. We want to show off and award people that are using the Ethereum ecosystem. All right, so before I go further, I want to talk a little bit more about what it means to be an Ethereum native multi-chain network. And so we need to then define what is a multi-chain network and what does it mean to be Ethereum native. So let's first talk about pooled security. And pooled security is a key component of a multi-chain network. You have a large set of nodes, there's security, there's stake across all of those nodes. At any given time, a random subset is pulled into a blockchain. That blockchain, and in this case of Scale, those are called Scale chains. And those nodes are not just randomly assigned, but they're rotated in a random fashion. All right. The cool thing about Scale is the Ethereum network is actually orchestrating all of that assignment and rotation and stake and slashing, et cetera. And there's already $2 billion plus in pooled security in the Scale network at your disposal now that we are at the Denali upgrade, ready for you to help support you push Scale into the wild. All right. And so that's a multi-blockchain network where you have not just one blockchain that's shared, each application has its own blockchain. And so when you deploy to Scale, you get your own Scale chain. When you get a Scale chain at this hackathon, you get your own endpoint that you point to, your own RPC port, and that's where that's your Scale chain. You don't share it with other hackers, okay? And these are blockchains on demand, so to speak, or Ethereum on demand. Now, this is not a new novel thing. We've been building this since 2017, building a multi-blockchain network or a multi-chain network, but there are a lot of them out there. I mean, you see these, there's some big brands that are building multi-chain networks. And I think they also see that the world's best tooling and developer traction is on Ethereum. So what they're doing is they're saying, hey, we have EVM compatibility. We're going to build a bridge to Ethereum. And that's pretty much the extent of their integration. Scale, I want to call it, is very different. And that's why I'm passionate about this term Ethereum native, because it means something. It's not just marketing. The Scale network through the Scale manager actually is guided through the Scale manager. So in the Scale network, any orchestration, as I mentioned, which nodes go to which chains, any rotation of those nodes happens through the Scale manager and in conjunction with Scale nodes. But smart contracts in the mainnet make that happen. In addition, there's network management that happens on Ethereum. So there's an ERC-77 token. It's called the SKL token. That's on Ethereum. It lets you delegate from Ethereum to the Scale network. And then when you do that, when you stake, that stake actually lives in the Scale network, and it's pooled security that supports decentralized applications, all right? That lives on Ethereum. Same thing with any bounty awards, Scale chain fees paid by developers for Scale chains. Any sort of inflation, the inflation in the network that helps bootstrap the network and augments the fees in the first years. Any sort of slashing. So if a node operator is malicious and they get slashed, that happens on Ethereum through Scale Manager. Check it out on GitHub, Scale Manager and the Scale GitHub. It's a very complex set of smart contracts. And the other cool thing is when you use Scale, you pay Ethereum. It's this modernized rev share model that is decentralized, which is a very cool way of partnering, and as opposed to competing and just kind of connecting over through a bridge. You want to pay for a Scale chain, you have to pay in Scale, and you have to pay gas fees. Send a Scale token, you pay Ethereum and gas fees, etc. Okay. Scale also is, I think, doing really cool stuff with containerization, and these elastic blockchains or elastic shards are actually can be selected in different sizes based off your needs. So won't go too deep on this today, but it's one of the cool components here where every node has virtualized subnodes, and a core that speaks back to the scale manager on Ethereum. All right, so again, deploy to scale, you can have sub-second block times, much larger block sizes, very great, easy user experience as if you were just deploying to another chain without a lot of complexity, but it's an Ethereum native chain, right? And so the way you, at this hackathon, in order to do this, one, you have to request a chain, which I'll show you how to do in a second. It's very easy to deploy, 2 lines of code. Then if you want to bridge, it's not a requirement, but if you want to bridge and show tokens moving back and forth between Ethereum and Scale, you can use the Scale IMA, which is there at your disposal, or another bridge. Maybe you want to use Connext or something else, or maybe even you want to create a bridge. I think that would also be a cool award winner. And we'd love to see somebody do something creative. Or connect another bridge that exists to Scale and show something happening. That also, I think, would be very creative. And then lastly, once you have your chain, do something cool in the ethos and spirit of Ethereum, show off these larger block sizes and smart contracts. Again, closing on awards. So there are $5,000 will be given in Scale to the Denali winner. And hey, again, do something cool, do it in the spirit of Ethereum. The next piece, 3 $2,500 winners, the Kilimanjaro Award. Again, build something cool, have fun, get creative. And lastly, Partner Hack Award. And there's some integrations that already exist between Chainlink, the Graph, Connext, and others, Covalent, NewCipher. So build something cool, integrate a partner. Ethereum is about the ecosystem. That is the strength of Ethereum. It's not just Solidity, it's not just EVM, it's not just the security within the Ethereum mainnet, it's the developer ecosystem, and Scale wants to support that by also giving an award for someone that can show this integration between Scale and another piece of the ecosystem. All right, so how do you learn more? The first step would be in a few hours today at 11:30 a.m. PT, Chadwick Strange, VP of Product for Scale Labs, will be giving a talk. So join that for a much deeper dive. You can go to scale.chat to the Scale Discord and learn all you need to know how to hack on Scale, get connected to the team. You can also go to the Discord run by for this hackathon, and we'll be there to support you as well. There's also a dev portal here link, and a link to get a Scale chain. Lastly, there's a Scale store. It's a zero profit store. It's a community store. Anyone who hacks, there'll be a discount codes given when you get your Scale chain. So please check that out. All right. Again, just want to close to say, this is a phenomenal platform for you to build something. And the secure. All right.
It looks like we're having some minor technical difficulties, but luckily we were at the tail end of what the Scale prizes were. So I want to just quickly repeat what Jack was saying about Scale prizes, and they are as follows. So for the Denali Grand Prize, you'll be getting $5,000 in Scale tokens. For the Kilimanjaro Prize, you'll be getting $2,500 in Scale tokens. And for the Best Partner Integration, there will be $2,500 in Scale tokens. That is over $12,000 in prizes being given by Scale, and this is the largest they have done for an ETHGlobal event. And this is just absolutely incredible. So I hope you had a chance to learn a bit more about how Scale is structured from this quick talk. There's also going to be another talk during our summit in a couple of hours by Chadwick, going in more depth around how Scale works under the hood. And yeah, hopefully that was informative. And with that, we are ready to move on to our next talk for our next sponsor video, and that is Connext. And we'll be sharing what Connext has to say momentarily.
Hi, everyone. My name is Arjun. I'm one of the founders of Connext. Welcome to Scaling Ethereum. Connext is a protocol for communicating between different layer 2 ecosystems. So that's rollups, sidechains, any other kind of EVM compatible chain, and then eventually also like non-Turing complete, non-EVM compatible Turing complete systems like ZK rollups. Connext works by, Connext is basically a network of liquidity providers called routers. Those routers hold liquidity pools on different chains, similar to like Uniswap LPs, and they allow you to swap value between them. And you can even do more interesting things like pass call data between, as part of these swap interactions that allows you to call a contract on a given chain from another chain. So it kind of looks like a cross-chain meta transaction pattern. Connext is live today. We've been live for the last few months. We've been working with, pretty closely with the Polygon ecosystem, XDAI, and a bunch of other early kind of L2 pioneers. And then now we're hoping to go live with Arbitrum Optimism soon, and then ZK Sync as well when it rolls out. Connext works, so a few examples of where Connext works right now. So Decentral Games is a metaverse casino that exists on Polygon. Decentral Games uses Connext to onboard in and out of Polygon from Ethereum. One of the great things about Connext is that you can, because you have this like swap of assets on one chain for another chain, you can bypass like entry and exit windows completely. So Polygon has a 6-minute onboarding and a 3-hour offboarding time normally from Ethereum, and then with Connext that ends up being pretty much instant. Users can kind of just do this in a single session. So particularly for people who are not necessarily as familiar with Ethereum and particularly like the nuances of Ethereum bridges, Connext ends up making that experience a lot more seamless. Another way that people are using Connext is direct layer 2 to layer 2 interactions, and we think this is an incredibly powerful space that is going to be really, really valuable in the future because well, to be honest, the ETH is just so incredibly expensive right now that like it prices out a lot of different types of activity. So we've had folks say that they have like funds stuck on XDAI or BSC or eventually things like Arbitrum and Optimism, and the funds are not really worth bridging out of the chain. But if you can move them directly between layer 2s, then they become interesting to play with. And right now that threshold is kind of like $40 to $50, which is actually a pretty significant amount of money. When you're not, just being like an absolute DeFi degen. We found that this layer 2 to layer 2, these swaps are actually really, really great for people who want to ape into protocols from things like Binance, because there's a very clear and easy path to go from like Binance chain to move liquidity off of Binance chain and into like the actual Ethereum layer 2 ecosystem. And the last kind of user flow, the last kind of way to use Connext that we're most excited about is basically this cross-chain meta transaction pattern. So Connext has the ability to build what are called withdrawal helpers. Basically, we have like middleware contracts that you can deploy between the Connext contracts and then whatever else you want to do outside of Connext. And then you can pass call data into Connext when you make a cross-chain transaction. And by creating withdrawal helpers like this, you're actually able to like call any contract directly from Connext and do that across chains without having to pay gas on the receiving side. So what this looks like is it's kind of similar to a meta transaction relayer pattern where like you only need funds. You're able to pay for a transaction that normally would cost ETH gas, but only using USDC or DAI. And in this case, you're able to pay for a transaction on a receiver side chain only using funds on the sender side chain. So for instance, like paying for an Arbitrum transaction using ETH from Arbitrum rather than ETH from, and like an Arbitrum transaction on Optimism, paying only ETH from Arbitrum rather than ETH from Optimism. A great example of a project that's building with this technology right now is Superfluid. So Superfluid is a cross-chain money streaming protocol, or a money streaming protocol more generally, and then they're building cross-chain money streams using Connext by enabling users to be able to like set up these money streams on different chains. We think there's some really, really interesting new kinds of places to explore here. So for instance, you can build like fully atomic cross-chain DEX aggregators, which we think are incredibly powerful and are probably what DEX aggregators will look like in the future, where you're not just aggregating from all of the AMMs on a single chain, but you're also aggregating across a bunch of different chains. And you can use the same kind of pattern to build things like cross-chain money, cross-chain lending, cross-chain yield aggregation, potentially even like cross-chain DAO interactions and things like that. There's a couple of ways to integrate Connects today. We have a SDK. So we have a widget that looks like this that you can pretty much just drop directly to your UI. That is extremely fast to integrate, and we have like great instructions for that in our docs. We also have a lower level SDK that powers this. So in case you don't want to use our UI, or you want to do more complex behaviors like the cross-chain money, cross-chain contract calls that we just talked about. You'd be able to pass those more detailed like call data calls directly into the SDK. Both of these resources for integrating both of these mechanisms are available in our docs. And for the duration of this text, we're actually hosting routers on testnet specifically for this. So if you have a project that you're building on top of us and you don't want to have to go through the headache of like hosting a router and supplying liquidity and things like that, we have some publicly available routers that you can use. We also have some additional resources. So we've put together like a list of things that could be helpful to hackers in a hacker kit. You can find that at connects.network/scalingeth. And then of course you can also find us and ping us anytime in the Sponsor Connects Discord chat on the ETHGlobal chat. We also have our own Discord if you want to join it. We are super responsive there as well, and you can find the link to that on our landing page, connects.network. And then lastly, we're giving out a bunch of prizes as part of this. So we're giving out 1,500 each to the best applications that implement the widget SDK, best applications that use this like cross-chain meta transactions pattern. We're looking for a team to build teams that build metrics and powerful data analytics against our network. So we're in the process of exposing that currently. And if you're interested in that, definitely come talk to us. And then we're doing a couple of joint bounties with the Graph and Optimism, where if you build using both of us, you would be eligible for those prizes. Yeah, that's basically it from our end. Thank you guys so much for coming to Scaling Ethereum, and really, really excited to potentially work with you, and good luck in the hackathon.
Thanks so much, Arjun, for that intro. And just to sum up the prizes for Connects, there is going to be $3,000 being given for the metrics related hack. There's $1,500 available for the cross-chain DApp submission. And the best use of a cross-chain transaction on Connects will also get $1,500. And there'll be two $750 prizes for the best widget or SDK integration. So that's a summary of the Connects prizes. And then we have a few more sponsors who would like to tell us about their excitement to join this event, and we'll be doing Protocol Labs and Seller together here.
Hello, welcome to Scaling Ethereum. I am Dietrich Ayala, and I'm the IPFS ecosystem lead at Protocol Labs. Protocol Labs is an open source research, development, and deployment laboratory. Our projects include IPFS, Filecoin, libp2p, and a whole bunch more. We aim to make human existence orders of magnitude better through the technologies we're developing. We're a fully distributed company. Our team of more than 100 members works remotely and in the open to improve the internet, humanity's most important technology, as we explore advances in computing and related fields. Protocol Labs has 4 prize options for scaling all the things, which it may choose to split up amongst multiple winners if too many of you build amazing projects. Our first prize, the NFT Metadata Updater, $1,875 in Filecoin. Mo minting, mo problems. Right now, everybody's minting NFTs and figuring out how to manage them. There aren't a lot of tools or services for managing large numbers of NFTs or even personal collections, being able to update metadata dynamically and in bulk across multiple assets. So this is a prize for the best method for managing signed, permissioned, timestamped updates to NFT metadata stored on IPFS via any L2 chain, the chain of your choice. Our second prize, Filecoin Turbo Retrieval, $1,875 in Filecoin, for the best method of bundling, managing, warming up, pre-flighting, or otherwise speeding up the payment channel creation process for easy mass retrieval from the Filecoin network. Our third prize, Sailing the Seas of CIDs, $1,875 in Filecoin. Right now you're publishing everything to IPFS, but where's your stuff? What is it all? So this prize is for the best tool, the best service, website, library, for working with and managing, visualizing large collections of IPFS CIDs. Our fourth prize, the Filecoin Super Disputer, $1,875 in Filecoin. Disputing optimistic window proof of spacetime proofs is a fun and profitable hobby that will also impress your friends. But how to show that off? This is the best prize for a disputer history visualizer, a leaderboard, or some other way of understanding what the set of potential disputes that you could take on are, who's disputing them, and any other way to be able to manage and help the dispute process and allow people to participate in this opportunity. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for joining the ETHGlobal Scaling Ethereum Hackathon. Protocol Labs is very proud to be part of another amazing event. We are looking forward to the things that you build with IPFS, libp2p, and Filecoin. If you have any questions, join us in the Protocol Labs sponsored channel. We're here to help you and answer your questions and make the things that you build even more awesome. Looking forward to evaluating and judging your projects, and we'll see you on the internets.
Hi, this is Mo from Sarah. It's great to meet you all at the Scaling Ethereum Hackathon. Today, we're bringing a new project called Layer 2 Finance for you to use and actually build on top of. This project is really about bringing access to DeFi for everyone. And just to give a quick intro, if we look at the entire DeFi landscape, it's almost like a city where your wallet is basically your home, and you have different kind of a DeFi shop you can go and park your money at and earn yield. The problem about this particular DeFi city is that right now the only way of transportation is this kind of a super expensive limo service, which is an L1 transaction. And ideally, for any kind of a modern city, we would expect to have some pretty good public transportation system where people can aggregate together and go to certain destination and split the cost. This is essentially the idea of Layer 2 Finance, which is providing a trust-free DeFi public transportation system through Layer 2 rollup scaling architecture. We have already launched on testnet, and currently there are quite a lot of activity on this testnet, but most notably, we're seeing about 80 times lower cost compared to directly using Layer 1 DeFi protocols. The good thing about Layer 2 Finance here is that it really is a composable product where it doesn't require Layer 1 DeFi strategies or Layer 1 DeFi protocols to migrate to a different chain. Instead, it only requires a simple connector to bridge the Layer 2 liquidity back to Layer 1, and this is what we call a strategy adapter. Now, this hackathon is really about bringing innovation on that strategy adapter layer, and we're providing a $7,500 prices to build with a Layer 2 Finance Strategy SDK to connect and combine different strategy protocols and DeFi protocols into novel strategies. The first price being $3,000, and we have 3 runner-ups of $1,500 each. We're hoping to see some really novel combination of DeFi protocols in these strategies with a fully functional strategy contract build. And to find out how to build the easiest solution is probably just join the Discord and follow us on Twitter. And we also have a GitHub, of course, but we will always send notification in the Discord channel and also publish our workshop, talk about how to connect the existing DeFi protocols into this Layer 2 Finance product. And we'll have a summit later today to talk a little bit more in detail on how this is realized in a Layer 2 rollup construct. Well, looking forward to your submission, and good luck with the hackathon.
Thank you so much, Protocol Labs and Stellar. So just to quickly summarize their prize, Protocol Labs will be giving NFT 1875 in Filecoin tokens for the NFT metadata updater hack, another 1875 in Filecoin tokens for a turbo retrieval hack for Filecoin, which relates to scaling. They also want to help give prizes for anybody who's helping scale CID retrievals. and also a 1875 in Polygon Prize for a super disruptor category winner, and the details of all of which are on our prizes page. And to summarize seller, they'll be giving first place $3,000 for the best seller integrations, and there'll be three $1,500 runner-ups for the best use of seller protocol. So with that, we have zk-swap and Loopring up next, and we'll share their videos with you momentarily.
Hello, ETHGlobal hacker. This is zk-swap. This is a quick video overview of what zk-swap is. So zk-swap is a layer 2 AMM DEX based on zk rollup. We launched in February 14th, 2021. It's been 3 months since our launch. We already have 1.5 billion in TVL and 1 billion in liquidity and 150 million in trading value. zk-swap has payment and layer 2 trading and liquidity mining. And it's based on zk rollup. It uses validity proof instead of swap proof. It has on-chain data, and there's no exit period. It has low gas fee and low latency. We have about 100 times the capacity of Ethereum, and the gas cost, the transaction cost, is 1/50th compared to layer 1 solutions. And the confirmation is instantaneous. The technical challenges and innovations were encountered while implementing zk-swap. So the circuit complexity is definitely one thing. As the complexity of the business logic increases, the block size and the proof time also increases. So we had to spend a lot of time optimizing our circuits and our proof infrastructure. We implemented a GPU algorithm to generate the proofs, and we achieved a 3-time improvement using our GPU implementation. And the other technique we used is aggregation proof. Instead of generating one zk knowledge proof per block, there's a way to generate a single proof for multiple blocks. So it decreases the proving cost on-chain as well, because we can verify multiple blocks with a one single aggregation proof. And we also looked into a lot of data compression of our on-chain data. On-chain data storage is definitely the biggest component of zk rollup cost. A little bit about our 2021 roadmap. In Q2 of 2021, we're going to launch version 2, and we'll support token listing for anyone, for users. And we're going to keep working on our zk proof efficiencies so we can improve our TPS as well. And we plan to launch a governance token for zk-S. And in Q3, we're going to add stablecoin swap. So we're going to implement different curves for stablecoins, and for example, trading between different types of BTCs. In Q4, we'll be looking into supporting smart contracts on layer 2. For the hackathon, there are prices we are offering for arbitrage tools. So you could implement arbitrage purely on layer 2, or you could also implement some sort of cross-platform arbitrage strategies between zk-swap and, say, a centralized exchange. The other thing is you could possibly implement some sort of DeFi protocol based on zk-swap LP tokens. So the zk-swap LP tokens are available on layer 1. The liquidity providers, they deposit their assets on layer 2, but they're a corresponding LP token on layer 1. And this is something that you could use to build some sort of DeFi. Here's our links, like our official media, Twitter, Telegram, Discord. And you can follow us on Twitter, zk-swap official. That's it. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Daniel Wang. I'm the founder and CEO of Loopring. Welcome to this hackathon. I wish everybody can enjoy this event, learn something new, make friends, and deliver something cool. As one of the sponsors of this event, I would like to introduce Loopring and our 2 challenges for you. Loopring is a zk rollup based layer 2 scalability solution, but we are not a general purpose layer 2. We are a DEX specific layer 2 for transfers, AMM swap, and outbook trades. We also offer a smart wallet powered by social recovery. So with the wallet, you don't have to manage your private keys. You don't have to do backups. We have 2 challenges for you. One is front-end challenge. We want to build a blockchain explorer for Loopring zk rollup. The other one is related to our cross-blockchain bridge or cross-layer 2 bridge. I want to share a few slides with you regarding the bridge. There are three small components of the bridge. The first one is what we call a flash deposit. So basically on layer 1, you can mint some token out of thin air and then deposit to Loopring layer 2. And then at the end of layer 2 block, you have to withdraw the same amount of token and return them to layer 1 to burn. The second one is a bridge. The bridge allows multiple users on layer 2 to transfer tokens to one single account on layer 2, and then withdraw the token to layer 1, interact with DeFi, and then optionally return another token back to layer 2 and redistribute those tokens to users. The third one is the converter, which is a special implementation of the bridge, so that we can optimize the layer 1 footprint a little bit. So these are very powerful tools that you can use to bring interoperability to Loopring. So I wish, again, I wish everybody to have fun at this great event. Brecht and myself will be here to help. Thank you.
Awesome. So that was zkSwap and Loopring. And just to quickly summarize their prizes, zkSwap is giving a $2,000 prize for the arbitrage tool, the best use of arbitrage tool, a $1,500 prize for an aggregator related hack, and $2,500 for the lending category related hack. And Loopring is giving about $5,000 in prizes, and the first place gets $2,500, the second place gets $1,500, and the third place gets about $1,000 for the best use of Loopring protocols in their hack. With that, we are moving on to Raiden and the Graph. So I'm excited for them to quickly share about their prizes and themselves.
Hello everyone, this is Jacob from the Raiden team. Today I'll give you a brief introduction of Raiden and the prizes that we have for the Scaling Ethereum Hackathon. The Raiden network is a payment channel network. It consists of off-chain channels that allow for fast transfers because we don't have to wait for the blockchain. It scales linearly with the amount of users using the system. It is very suitable for high-frequency token transfers, and in this hackathon specifically, we'll focus mostly on the light client. So Raiden is a good fit for you when you want to do many frequent transfers, you want instant finality on those transfers, and you want to work with a simple API that lets you focus on building things. So the prizes and the challenges that we offer for this hackathon are $2,000 in RDN for the best hack that uses the Raiden Light Client SDK to power payments. So this is a very broad category, and if you're not entirely sure what you want to build, we also have a list of ideas and inspiration that you can get from us in Discord. So this is probably for you if you have some idea that includes payments. Secondly, we have $2,000 in RDN for the best hack that ports Raiden to a rollup solution or a sidechain. So this could be putting Raiden on Optimism or putting Raiden on XDAI. Optimism is probably harder than putting it on XDAI. So for this, if you do XDAI, we would also like to see some good tooling around interfaces and bridges for XDAI to Ethereum and the other way. Then there's $2,000 worth of RDN for the best hack that builds a new frontend for the Light Client or rebuilds the current one. So we would like to see a front end that focuses very much on making it easy and simple to do payments in Raiden. For all the categories, we will also reward $500 in RGN for the runner-up submissions. If you're looking for some resources, inspiration, and support, you can find us in Discord and ask whatever you want. We can brainstorm some ideas together. We also have a list of concrete ideas, and you can check out the workshop that Andre did when you want to get started building on the SDK. A quick intro to the team. We have Andre, Paul, Tora, Talal, and myself, and we will be following in Discord for this hackathon, and we'll be very happy to help you out if you have any questions. We're here to help. And lastly, I'll just mention that we also have a grants program that could be relevant for continued collaboration after the hackathon. That's all for me. Thank you very much, and good luck and have fun hacking.
Hi there, my name is Eva Balin and I'm director at the Graph Foundation. For those of you who don't know, the Graph is the global querying and indexing layer for Web3 and querying any blockchain data at all. We're so excited to be sponsoring Scaling Ethereum and helping you hackers build better and more sustainable applications. To learn more about the Graph, I suggest you go to thegraph.com/docs, where you can learn how to deploy a subgraph, what a subgraph even does, and even learn more about our network and how to become an indexer. Now, we have a few bounties for this hackathon, so listen up. The first bounty will be one prize of 1,500 DAI for the best use of one of the following existing subgraphs by one of the other sponsors of this hackathon. So that includes the Rarible subgraph, the ENS subgraph, the Matic or Polygon subgraph, Uniswap subgraph, or the Aave subgraph. And again, you can learn more about how to use these subgraphs by checking out our docs. You can also head to the Discord, thegraph.com/discord, to speak with one of the other engineers in our community that's built subgraphs before, and even talk to other dApp developers who are currently querying active subgraphs. The cool thing about building a subgraph is that it's part of an open source, crowdsourced community. And so you're contributing to the global graph of data, not just using it yourself. And that's also the cool thing for you as an integrator. If you're not interested in actually building the subgraph yourself for whatever reason, you can use an existing one. And that means that you're reducing your own redundant backend work. You don't need to set up a server database, and you also don't need to maintain it. But we do encourage you to build a subgraph for your use case. And so that might be as simple as making aggregations, just combining data between smart contracts, tracking events or call data, really anything to get your app functioning. Some of the other bounties we have are one prize of 1,000 DAI to the best new subgraph. And we also have 3 prizes of 1,500 DAI each to the best new subgraph on a scaling solution that's supported by the Graph's hosted service. Lastly, we have 2 prizes of 250 DAI each for the best memes related to the Graph and scaling Ethereum. Lastly, if you want to learn more about how to deploy a subgraph on an EVM chain, you can tune in at 4 p.m. Eastern to see Dave, a blockchain engineer at Edge and Node, and you can ask a lot of questions and just hear more about what happens behind the scenes. If you want to learn more about the graph itself, I'd also suggest checking out the forum. So forum.thegraph.com is where you can see a lot of our ongoing community work, whether that's a governance proposal for the network, or maybe even information and resources around subgraph development. You can also check out, example subgraphs by heading to thegraph.com/explorer. This is where you can literally, find the endpoints for some existing subgraphs. You can search to see what's been deployed already. And you can also play around in the playground so you can test out GraphQL queries before committing to it. If you want to learn more, I'd suggest also following us on Twitter, where we keep up with announcements on multi-blockchain, any other integrations, and our progress on the network. Excited to see you guys hack. Bye.
Those were 2 awesome, amazing intros from Raiden and the Graph. And just to summarize their prizes, Raiden will be giving $2,000 in Raiden tokens for the Light Client SDK use. Anybody who's porting to Rollup or L2 with Raiden will get $2,000 in Raiden tokens as well. And a Light Client integration on the front end side with Raiden will also win a $2,000 prize in Raiden tokens. And then there'll also be a run-up category for each of those, getting $500 each. And for the Graph, the best existing subgraph related hack will get $1,500 in DAI. The best new subgraph that gets published will get 1,000 DAI. The best new layer 2 subgraph that gets worked on, there'll be 3 prizes for 1,500 DAI. And the best graph meme related submission will get 250 DAI in prizes. So with that, I want to move on to our last set of our sponsors, and we'll have Polygon and Compound Grants Program share some of their interesting perspectives.
Hey everyone, this is Muskan.
I lead developer relations at Polygon. So we're really excited to be here, like sponsoring Ethereum scaling hackathon. And like I'm sure like all the hackers participating in the hackathon will definitely enjoy experiencing all the scaling solutions and building upon them, because like scaling is the need of the time right now. So I'm really excited to see like some amazing hacks coming out of the hackathon. So yeah, let's see. So telling you like more about Polygon. So Polygon is basically a well-structured, easy to use Ethereum scaling platform. So Polygon, which is previously Matic, was founded in 2017 with this hybrid POS plus Plasma kind of chain approach. And since then, we have like seen great amount of adoption on a POS and Plasma chain. So basically, these chains are a commit chain to Ethereum. So by commit chain, what I mean is that every like 256 blocks, we Merkle root transactions to Ethereum. And so by this, what I mean is that these chains are like tethered to Ethereum chain. And like like seeing like in our journey ahead, like going deeper into this scaling spectrum, we realize that like there have been a lot of like solutions coming up, like ZK rollups and optimistic rollups, and some like there might be like more solutions coming in the future. There's no like one size fits all scaling solution. Like developers have to keep on like learning about new solutions and see like which solution will be like applicable to their kind of use case. So just like working on like seeing all these problems and working upon them. So we just came up with the idea of Polygon. So Polygon is basically a kind of a layer 2 aggregator, I can say, like be it like ZK rollups, be it optimistic rollups, or be it any other standalone chains. So you will be able to find everything on one platform. So now it depends on the developer, like which kind of solution that developer needs for his kind of application. So if like he's working on some NFT kind of solution, so there might be another like he might need a POS kind of solution. He's working on some DeFi application, so he might need another like optimistic rollup kind of solution. So like he'll be able to find every solution on one platform. So basically, Polygon is a Swiss Army knife for Ethereum scaling and infra development. So like, of course, this will take a little time to develop, but right now the production ready chains are like Matic POS and Plasma chains, which is like quite like which is well adopted chains by the ecosystem. Like there right now, if I say like there are like more than 200 plus applications which are being developed on these POS and Plasma chains. So I think you guys will also really enjoy like building on these chains, because it's really simple to develop. Like we usually say internally that if you are an Ethereum developer, you're already a Polygon developer, because all the toolings and like functionalities which are compatible with Ethereum chain that are compatible with Polygon as well. And it's really simple to deploy. You just need to change one RPC and it's done. You don't need to like change any other things. You just need to change one RPC and your like contracts and you are done. That's it. Now telling you about the bounties. So we usually like to keep it very open, and like whatever you want to like build, it's just let your imagination run wild, and like you could build anything, because it's really like cheap to experiment things with Polygon, because gas fees is really less. So you could build anything, but like there are some of the ideas which I would like to share. So you could build some like a marketplace setup using Arzora contracts and Polygon. Any kind of minter to mint NFTs directly on Polygon, and an NFT bridge, which can be used to like move these NFTs from Polygon to Ethereum main chain. Then you could like work on some like forks of popular DeFi protocols like Balancer, Curve, or any other protocol you want to work upon. Next is some DeFi tooling, like something like yield calculators or like DeFi analytics pages for Polygon. Other can be a like bridge for the FX portal. So last is like use Superfluid on Matic to build the scalable streaming money applications. So yeah, these are some of the ideas like I would like to share. But it's quite open, and if you want to work upon anything else and like make use of Polygon speed and scalability, just feel free to do that. Like sky's the limit here. So yeah, like we'll be awarding like 7,500 USDT to hackers which are building their hacks on Polygon. So like this is the distribution. Yeah, that's all from my end, I guess. And let's see, like I'm really excited like what kind of amazing hacks will come out of this Ethereum scaling hackathon. So really like thanks to
Hey everyone, I'm Adam from Compound. I'm the developer relations lead. My job is to help you out with building your Ethereum related development projects that include the Compound protocol. Compound Grants is sponsoring this year's Scaling Ethereum Hackathon with ETHGlobal. And if you haven't heard of Compound, it's a protocol for supplying and borrowing of assets on the Ethereum blockchain. So developers can include interest rates in their applications by using the smart contracts. Popular apps that use the Compound protocol are Argent, Pool Together, Exodus, Zerion, and there's a bunch more at compound.finance. Developers can learn more at compound.finance/docs. We have method documentation for all the smart contracts, API docs, as well as open source code and blog posts that explain how to include the protocol in your app. Lots of education materials there. You can also join us in Discord at compound.finance/Discord. There's a development channel where you can ask questions and bounce ideas off the community, and they'll help you out there getting started with your project. So this hackathon's Compound bounties will include projects that scale the Compound protocol. The current challenges for users are high gas fees with supply and borrow, and also claiming comp, as well as governance proposals and voting. So projects that implement general Compound protocol gas savings or zero knowledge technology or layer 2 will be considered for the Compound bounties. So you can join us again at compound.finance/Discord, and we'll help you out there. You can chat with us, and yeah, we're always here to help. So we're excited to be a part of Scaling Ethereum, and we can't wait to see the creative projects that you all are working on. See.
Amazing. So thank you, Muskan and Adam. Those were the last two videos we wanted to share from our sponsors. And just to summarize, the Polygon Prize, they were giving away over $6,000 for the best use of Polygon and the Matic network. In the first place, we'll get $2,500. There'll be two $1,500 second place prizes and three $1,000 or two $1,000 third place prizes. As for Compound, we encourage you to check out the list of open bounties and ideas that are being proposed by Compound Grants. And they're here to support this event and really get in the zone of helping out and seeing how we can make DeFi and Compound more possible on the L2 side. Now, of course, those were some of just the sponsors that were able to share their prizes and tell us about themselves directly, but there are a handful of other ones that are also doing prizes. And I'll just quickly give you a heads up on who they are and what's being given out by each of these companies. So Taurus is giving away $7,500 in prizes. Aave will be giving away $5,000 in prizes. Superfluid is also giving $5,000 in prizes. Both Chainlink and NewCipher are giving $5,000 in prizes for the best integrations for all of these protocols. Covalent is doing $3,000 in prizes. Teller is also doing $3,000 in prizes. Zapper is doing $4,500 in prizes. 1inch Exchange is doing $5,000 in prizes. The Secret Network is doing $5,000 in prizes. And ENS Integration Prize is $1,000 in total. And there's a few more sponsors that are finalizing these, the total numbers for their prizes. So we'll update that in the prizes page. And just so you have all of this handy, all of the prizes and that information with the details for what it means to win a prize and how you qualify and how do you use anywhere from documentation to the details of each of these protocols is available at scaling.ethglobal.co/prizes. This will take you to the info center on the prizes page, and you can see all these details of $200,000 plus in prizes there directly.